Hello, Leos. This is your reading for the week of March 3rd. So, what I'm being told is that there are many of you who are at a point of transition, of growth, of moving beyond the patterns and the roles that you have taken on to really take care of people, to be in charge, to take care of situations, take care of people. That you are at a point now where you are really having some things come up that might be very challenging for you, or even a little challenging, but challenging for you in terms of emotions, in terms of roles that you have played, in terms of where you want to go and where you want to be, in terms of how you define yourself in relation to other people. So what I'm also being told here is that a lot of times in the past, a lot of you have grown into a caretaking role because situations in your past were difficult, challenging. I want to say it was almost as though it was easier for you to take charge and be in control than it was to worry about things. It was like, well, dust that off and move on. But the unfortunate thing about that is that because you were so determined to move on, because you had, in many cases, the obligation of taking care of other people, sometimes at a very early age, you didn't really have the opportunity to learn how to manage uncomfortable and difficult feelings. So one of the things that can happen, and especially when it's a really strong fire sign, because fire tends to be really quite decisive. The fire element in people tends to make them quite decisive and take action on things. So if you're not able to deal with painful emotions, if you haven't been supported in understanding them or dealing with them, which, let's face it, many of us have not, the tendency for you, fire, is to put up a wall. It's not even a boundary, it's a wall. You see, because you've often been in the caretaking role, and often with a genuinely loving heart, you have had a tendency often to overgive. It's kind of like you were grown into codependency. There could be that quality of that. And if not codependency, then where people were over reliant on you and it was so natural to you that you did it. But what it meant is you didn't learn, often many of you didn't learn how to set healthy boundaries because you weren't really in touch enough with your other layer of feeling behind the need to take care of things, behind the need to be decisive, behind the need to get rid of the chaos and sort things out. You didn't get a chance to really feel behind that and really check in with what was good for you. So you're actually at this wonderful, expansive point in your life now of being able to say, that's enough. I've reached my limit, and now it's got to be about me. Because it's really like, do it fiercely, really do it with yourself, but also do it not from an egotistical place of, I know best, I'm doing this, It's understanding that you have absolutely the right and even the responsibility to make the choices that are good for you. But it's doing it also with a certain kind of gentleness. Because there often has been a tendency to be over-responsible, there can also be resentment that has grown up, and as I said, a lack of awareness of deep feelings that had happened during different periods, or the ability to really deal with them. Leos are really quite good at stuffing things down because they can be so decisive. They can go no and then just move forward. But unfortunately, what this often does is it causes emotions to kind of get stuck in the body. And when things get stuck in the body, congested from an energetic point of view, that's what can create destabilization in the health. So what we really want to do here is look at this and say, okay, if situations are coming up for you where you are being triggered into feeling like you have to shut down completely, or that you have to attack, or that you have to draw a wall, it's not about negotiating in boundaries, but you have to draw a wall, then that's usually a pretty good idea or a pretty good indication that something from the past has been lingering there that needs to be addressed. Because that kind of all out reaction is something that usually is something that comes from a buildup of emotion that's been in there. Now, you're being asked to look at whatever situation that's going on as look at it with a new day. If it reminds you of something from the past, because you probably have many different situations because of the progressive nature of this. You probably have had many different situations in your life where you've built up some resentment, or where you have built up some emotion that you haven't been able to really release and heal from. This is your opportunity. When you find it getting triggered, you can use that as an opportunity to really look at it, really understand it, and move forward. And take it as an opportunity to understand how your mind works, what the triggers are, and how that can create that kind of closing off, closing down, or attack attitude. The thing is, it doesn't, forgiveness. Okay, so you've got the forgiveness card coming up, which is exactly what the image was this morning that I had. The image was this. You were standing there and there were mice running around, and it was like irritation at the mice running around in your house, invading your house. But then you caught a mouse, and it wasn't with a humane trap. It was one of those old snap traps. And it caught on the mouse's tail. And you could look at the mouse, obviously in discomfort, and you're standing there going, well, that serves you right. And yet the reality of it is, as you do that, I can also feel there's certainly a little bit of a kind of attitude. But behind that, there's hurt. Behind that, you're causing yourself pain because that's not in alignment with your true nature. Your true nature, as much as you want to sometimes attack, slap, or your true nature is not to be like that. Your true nature is that you are very loving. And that heat that you have when balanced is very much about loving, creating connections with healthy boundaries, right? So if you notice that you're finding yourself, so then I said to the guides, okay, look, I don't really like that image. Can you give me another one? And so then they showed me the clothes dryer. And it's like the clothes were dry, but you still kept pushing another time. It's like, you don't need more heat. The clothes are dry. So if you find yourself with this, you're being asked to whatever situation you are reacting to with that kind of an attitude, you're being asked to look at this and consider what the nature of forgiveness is. There's two kinds. One is where you say, yeah, that's fine. You move on, or you don't even say that's fine. You just kind of move on. But in the back of your mind, there's a list. And whether you're aware of it or not, there's either a list of wrongdoing that you're going to hold up to somebody later when they really tick you off, and usually, often simultaneously, there's a lot of pain associated with that. And then the other type of forgiveness is, we all make mistakes. We're all here to learn and grow. And in being human, we're not always going to be perfect. And sometimes we just don't have the maturity or the bandwidth emotionally to deal with the situation in the nicest possible way. So the thing is, can you understand that we are all here learning and growing? And whatever the relationship is it worth the effort to move into that state of forgiveness? Now, please also remember the second state of forgiveness where we can really say, you know what? We all make mistakes. Just being willing to have that attitude starts releasing whatever hurt was there and whatever resentment was there. It means you don't have to take it personally, right? When you start having that attitude of, man, oh man, we're all painting from the same palette of emotions. We all have our triggers. We've all had our issues. And you know what? Sometimes we hurt each other and we don't even mean to. I don't have to take it personally. It's not about me being this, that, or the other thing. It wasn't that they thought this, that, or the other thing. It's that they were in that state. Can you allow yourself to just start living from that attitude and see where that takes you in terms of being able to release the pain? Because that's what this is about. That's about you being able to release whatever pain is there, and resentment and anger, it's usually about a pain that's still there, that's hidden. And if you've been going through taking care of people for a long time in your life, you probably have a lot of that. Well, a lot. I don't want to make it super dramatic. For some of you, it's not. For some of you, it will be. So what you're being asked is, in light of the forgiveness, you get the forgiveness card. You've got the word fast, which is please watch your language. And do your very best not to label people, not to put them in categories. Do your very best. You get two cards that are talking about looking at situations with new eyes. Okay? So this is about, if you'd never seen, if there was no history to this, how would you look at it? All right? And if there was no history that was similar to this, because it might not be with this particular person or job or situation, it might be just a similar feeling to this. If I had never had that and it didn't remind me of that, how would I be responding to it instead of reacting to it? And how would I respond? Because that's when you're coming from your higher mind. That's when you're coming from your deeper heart, not your wounded heart. Okay? And it's a new day. Today, whenever you feel inclined to react to something or someone based on yesterday or before, by first reminding yourself of what happened, stop. Imagine that it's all new. This is the first time you meet. This is the first time you investigate or consider any person, event, or function. Think about how you'd feel without the shading of the past. Okay? And again, it's not instantaneous, but it is the willingness to be letting go of that absolute protection by putting up a barrier. Because a barrier is a wall, it's not a boundary. And when you put up a barrier, you're holding yourself in too. And we don't want you to hold all that energy in. Now there is this opportunity for you to let go of stuff. It's never too late to heal from the past. And it's never too late to let go of that stuff out of your body and to change your mental position on things, your emotional position on things. Leo, you are super strong. You are strong. You have the capacity. Your mind is your cookie cutter. It's what you put into it that shapes what you create. What are you putting into it? Are you going to be willing to look at things in a new way? Not just for the other people, but really for you this time. For you. Excuse me. I'm just going to, because again, who says why not? You do it big. There you go. Do it big. Do it fiercely. This is your opportunity, my loves, to let go of the stuff that has held you back and to let go of those roles that you were grown into, either because you had to take care of other people or because there was nobody there to take care of you and you had to do it yourself. This is your chance. And by letting that go, it means you start getting to be able to create new boundaries, healthy boundaries. You don't need to sit. You don't need to sit and watch the mouse suffer. It's not good for your heart, my loves. And you don't need to keep pressing that more heat on the dryer. The clothes are dry. And isn't it interesting that it's clearing out irritations? It's all about cleaning. Cleaning the house of vermin, although I love mice, so I hate to call them vermin, and doing your laundry, cleaning it out, getting it all clean. So there you go, Leos. This is a bit of a long one, but I feel like Spirit really wants you to know this. This is your time for you to heal yourself, but you heal yourself by forgiving. Forgiving other people, forgiving yourself as a way of letting go of whatever has been holding you back, whatever's been holding you in, and whatever has prevented you from being able to make healthy boundaries for yourself. Okay, my dears?